This is the Jess Broadcasting Network on air, a podcast about trail and ultra running, but really, it's about becoming who you are meant to be. I'm your host, Jess Walhoff, inviting you into conversations about resilience, wonder, and the quiet magic of putting one foot in front of the other. Out on the trail, we learn to move our mountain, not by force, but by presence and persistence. And in that movement, we find joy in the journey.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the JWBN On Air podcast. I'm your host, Jess, and today I have a special guest for us. So go ahead and we will welcome Jeff Pratt to our podcast, one of my good running friends, and we are at his special tree known as Jess' girlfriend out here at Great Bear. Jeff, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So I've known Jeff since he moved to Sioux Falls, and that's kind of also when his ultra running career began, because he made the smart choice of coming to a group trail run. But go ahead and let's go back deeper to where you grew up and how you got into running.
Okay. I guess, if I'm being honest, I ran a little bit when I was playing soccer and stuff like that growing up. I grew up in Monticello, Minnesota. And then I wanted to join the Army, but I was really into drinking beer in high school and not running or sports. So I had to lose a little bit of weight. So I laced up my pair of Kevin Garnett shoes, as a true Minnesotan does, and went for a run to the end of the block. And that was kind of how I started actually running. And then, it just kind of snowballed from there. It was just, basic training. I was kind of a little bit faster. So I was in the group of people that didn't have a drill sergeant with them, which was nice. So I didn't get yelled at for, 45 minutes in the morning every couple days. And then when I was in Iraq and Kuwait, it was just kind of a way to escape, run 3 or 4 miles. When I was in Kuwait, it was there was 5Ks all the time, so we ran a lot of 5Ks. And then kind of part of my way, I was a couple months from getting home from Kuwait, and I was like, I should run a half marathon. So I signed up for the Earth Day half in St. Cloud, and I ran that a few months after I got home. And then I really didn't run for a long time, a few years. Intermittently, I guess. I stayed into it, but I didn't run any 5Ks or half marathons for 4 or 5 years before my now wife, she was doing a relay in the Fargo marathon. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll run the half that weekend, whatever, I'll get back into it. So yeah, I did that, and then I ran a couple other halves here and there, and then got into the fulls. Eventually I moved to Sioux Falls, and I wanted adult friends, because apparently it's really hard to meet friends when you're an adult, that you meet them at work, and if you don't have any kids, you're not meeting other parents or anything like that. So I saw on Facebook this Thursday night group run that met out at this place called Good Earth, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll go check that out. And then I met these really nutty people who were like, oh yeah, we run ultras. And I'm like, what is that? What? Yeah, it's a 50K. And I'm like, okay, speak American, please. And they're like, it's 31 miles. And I'm like, that sounds dumb. And then they're like, I hear about 50 milers and 100 milers, and why do you call it a 50K if you call it a 50 miler? This is really confusing. Stick to one, kind of. I don't know. And then I'm like, you guys are nuts. I'm never doing that. I'll run with you guys on Thursdays, maybe pop in for a training run on Saturday, but I am not doing that. And then maybe 6 months later, I was running Hitchcock 50, because I guess I'm easily influenced. So
show up to a Thursday night group run and you will become an ultra runner.
Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of people have fallen into that.
It's not an intentional trap, and there's a few that haven't, and they're the strongest people I know.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been swaggered into the ultra yet. They definitely show up for the 20Ks and such, and other trail races.
But that's cool too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think it's always, this joke that we're always, we push people to signing up for races and whatever else, and that's kind of our culture. But the reality is if somebody's getting out there and doing something that they've never done before, or that something's hard, like, yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's all cool.
It's all cool just to hang out, enjoy trails, conversation.
Yeah.
It's just a fun place to be, and
Yeah.
run and learn. Lots of learning.
You learn a lot at Thursday night group run.
Yeah.
At group runs in general, because you have like a ton of mix of different people with different experiences, and like, it's just a good place to talk about running.
Or life.
Or life. Yeah.
Learn so much life lessons out there too.
That exists.
Yeah. Your first half marathon. You remember the time of your first half marathon?
Oh, I don't know. It was probably like, it was under 2 hours. Okay. It was like 150, 147,
very
somewhere in there. It wasn't under 145, because I remember like for a while there afterwards, I'm like, oh, I really want to do a sub 145. But yeah.
Have you done a sub 145 officially?
Yes, okay. I have. I have.
Okay.
A couple times now. So.
Okay. And then marathon PR.
Oh, like 340, 44 or something like that.
Still very respectable. But when we go into Jeff's ultra career,
yeah,
like what he could probably throw down now in a. Do you think you could go?
I don't know.
What do you think you're capable of?
I think I might be able to hit a 330, maybe. I'm just not like the fastest runner in the world. Like, okay, yes, I know. And you, okay.
Although road running is very different than ultra and trail running.
Like, my turnover isn't very good.
Yeah.
And so like just the roads aren't my jam. Not that there's anything wrong with them. I think it would be fun to run another one just to see what I could do, but like I'm not good at it, because I also don't particularly like it. Like I just don't like it. It was something I did just because, and that translated over into my training too. Like I wasn't good at training for a full. I didn't want to train because it wasn't fun. So like, I don't know. In my mind, like,
you just do it.
Yeah, and I'm not, again, nothing against people who run halves and fulls and all that sort of stuff. I just not good at it. Like, and I don't like it. It's not even that I don't like it, because I like to run. I'm not having fun at mile 22 like I am at mile 92.
Different types of fun.
Yeah.
So then we go into a little bit of Jeff's ultra career. So he runs his very first 50 mile end of 2019, Hitchcock. It's a race down in Iowa, outside of Omaha, Council Bluffs area. Iowa has hills, if you didn't know. This race boasts about 200 feet of vert per mile. So for the 50 mile, it's about 10,000 feet of gain. They come in punches, kind of straight up, straight downs, a little bit of flats in between. You came out, we had a pretty good Sioux Falls crowd that year, running the 100. I did the 101K, you did the 50. I think we had some other people doing the 50 as well.
Oh yeah.
So we had a good crew that went out and did a training run maybe a month before the race.
Yep.
So we could all see the course, for what Dan remembered of the course.
Yeah.
He skipped a loop. He skipped one of the first hills.
I don't know. I still can't find the loop out there when it's not marked, so it's okay.
Tell everybody how that first 50 mile went for you.
Okay, so this is it was 15 and a half hours. And to reference that, like nowadays, my second half of hundreds is like under
12 hours.
12 hours. Like, and my first 50 is usually in that like 9:30 to 10 hour range. So like, I was not fast at all. Now I had also just that fall I had ran a couple of full road marathons, so I was not in trail shape. I also had no idea how to run trails. Um,
What was
but
your running strategy?
just go,
Go.
just run forward, like just keep on trucking.
Mhm.
But so here's the thing, like I've spent my last full marathon, it rained on us in Mankato all day. So I had like a 4:10, and that seemed like it took, and like, and even my marathon before that, that was when I PR'd at like that 3:44 or whatever. Um, I was like those seemed to take forever, but then I went and I spent 15 and a half hours on a 50-mile course, which is a really long time,
Mhm.
like a long time, but it went by like that. Like I,
So
I,
all the thinking you do in an ultra, I think, is part of it.
I
I
and
mean,
and I just think it's you know, I like it. I have
yeah,
fun. I'm
yeah.
having fun, even when it's
When you're
type
not.
2 fun. I'm still having so much fun that like it goes by like that. And like I remember I've never gotten to the finish line of a road marathon and said, "Oh, when do I get to do this again?"
Mm-hmm.
But like I got to the finish line there and I was like, I'm in a lot of pain. I don't think I can do this again, but like I would do it again tomorrow if I could. Like when can I sign up for my next one?
Did you intend on signing up for anything in 2020 then after that?
Um
Had you signed up or
I
were you
did.
planning on some?
I was planning on running my first 100 at Hitchcock um in 2020, but then I still thought I was in my 20s
Right.
and I was playing ultimate frisbee with some college guys in a park on a Monday night and I broke my ankle, um, which I had, and like I was so excited to run 100
Mm-hmm.
that I had like already been training. I was running like 60 miles a week, 70 miles a week, like in March, getting ready for this.
For a
Like,
December race.
yes, yes. So this was like I was so jazzed up, and then yeah, I broke my ankle, and like it was kind of crushing because it was, and I was I was pretty like probably I was miserable because I had finally found this thing that I enjoyed doing and I like found my niche, and then I just couldn't do it. It was like it was really hard.
So then, yeah, you recover from that.
Yep, I ended up signing up for the 101K
Oh,
in at Hitchcock because obviously I didn't start training again until like the end of September,
mm-hmm.
really. And even still like I started running again on flat ground for 20 minutes at a time, what I was cleared for,
Mm-hmm.
um, like in the middle of August. So like there was no way I was going to be ready for 100
No.
at the beginning of December. Um, and my gait was all messed up. So like I was like I had like really bad pain in my ankles just because I was running differently. Um, but yeah, so I had signed up for the 101K. I was like, okay, I'll muscle my way through that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it'll be fine. I'll sign up for 100 next year. Um, but yeah, and then it got canceled. So that
COVID.
was
Yeah.
like, ah,
Yeah. So then 21 rolls around and you do sign up for your first 100.
mine's a
And when
Spain.
did you sign up for that? Early on or?
It was pretty early on because like so it had like my my registration for Hitchcock rolled over.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I'm already in for the 101K and I wasn't like smart enough or like in the know enough to know that I could like reach out to Ron, the race director, and he would have
Bump
like
it up.
bumped it up to a 100 miler. So I didn't know that. And then, so I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to run 100 miles at Mines of Spain. And I know Andy, and she was having a ton of fun there. And Jeremy, like, they were like, yeah, we're both going. And I'm like, okay, I'll sign up for that. I know people. Like,
Yeah.
whatever, let's rock.
So kind of going into that, not quite knowing what you were signing up for, other than
Yeah,
Andy did 2 years of swimming there the first 2 years.
yeah,
To hear those
and I
stories,
didn't
but-
even listen. I didn't even pay attention. Like, it's so interesting now because today I study courses. Like, I swear it's like I'm solving some sort of a math problem. But then, like, back then, I didn't look at the course. I didn't even know how much elevation gain was at Mines of Spain or at Hitchcock. And I had ran it. Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, let's go do
Just
this
go
thing.
do a trail and see what happens. So yeah, Mines of Spain. You went in kind of with a 24-hour goal, right?
Well,
Or you thought that would be kind of cool.
I thought it would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know how it is. It's like your first one, and
Yeah.
you're always kind of naive.
Yep.
Um,
Which I think is sometimes works out
yeah,
pretty well for people until it doesn't.
yeah, and like that year, so I trained really hard. I was like, what I like about the 100-mile distance is it scares me.
Uh-huh.
Like, no matter how many times I run it, it scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think that there is any way to hide not putting in the work in 100 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And that fear like drives my training. And I, when I don't want to train today, I remember I have 100 and I know I have to do it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, not that I'm not a really big person into force training. Like, don't do something you don't want to do, but like there is some mental aspect to that. And I just worked really hard. And then I went to Utah for 3 weeks for military stuff. And I spent a ton of time out there, like hiking and running in the mountains and like all of this. And I still had no idea how to train for anything. But then I like came back and I was faster everywhere I went. Obviously I took a little bit of a step down being busy working so much while I was out there. So I didn't have as high a training volume, but it was a lot of elevation climbing because you're in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you're sitting up at that, 5,000 feet above sea level. So you're actually getting really good training. Not that I understood that at the time, and that's why I got faster.
Yeah.
But I came back out and I was like I was running here at Great Bear. I was running, 14-minute miles out here, and now I was running 10, like all the time. And then like at Good Earth, I was generally running about 12-minute miles, and now I was like running 9s, and it was like, well, whoa, what happened here? And I was kind of like, as I was looking at making goals and all that sort of stuff and putting together my spreadsheet, I was like, maybe it's possible I could run sub 24. Like that's right. So I mapped it out. Like, yeah. I don't know. I'm big into mapping things out. If I think it's possible, let's figure it out. Like, see what you'd have to do to make that happen. So I did, and really my primary goal there was like 25 hours. I was like, if I can do, because it's a 20-mile loop, I'm like, I think I can do 5-hour loops. Mm-hmm. And like, that'll be a good like grind. And then, yeah, I came in from that first loop and I was actually kind of disappointed in myself because I'd ran too fast. And that's got its own whole mental battle that you can go down in 100 miles. But yeah, and then I came out like what, 21
and a half?
Yeah, 21 some change.
Yeah,
21 and a half. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like, not what I planned.
I mean, you kept yourself together too.
Yeah, other than that time you tripped me and like,
I had just commented he was doing so great on picking up his feet and moving well.
And not
then
falling.
A stick jumped out and got him. And he had a spectacular, like, roll onto his back and all the water shout out of his
Yeah.
bladder. It's great.
Yeah.
And then you also didn't want to eat food.
Yeah, because,
It's a farce.
90 mile, well, no, 90 mile Jeff seems to think he knows everything, even though he's got no idea what's going on.
But other than that, it went well. And then you did go back and do Hitch 101K that year too.
Yeah, and so that
less than 2 months later. About 2 months later.
Yes, 7-8 weeks later, and this was kind of weird for me, because I just ran a 21.5 hour 100, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I fast? Like, people think I'm fast now, and like, all of a sudden I'm training with people that I had always looked at them as they were fast, and they were like, oh yeah, you can come and train with us, and I'm like, I don't think I can, but here I am, and it was a whole weird thing. And then I went down there, and I actually ended up in a foot race. Like, I led the whole thing until the last mile, but that was also where I learned a lot about experience in ultras. Like, I stopped taking care of myself because I was busy racing. And then, John beat me, and that's okay. Like, it was a fun race, and John and I are friends. But I really wish I would have been smarter, because I think I could have, I feel like I should have had my first win, then, but at the same time, that's okay. Like, you got to learn those things.
Yeah. And then we go to Black Hills for the first time for you, running the race.
Yeah. And Black Hills is special because that was my first 100 experience, I guess. So when you ran Black Hills, we knew each other from group runs and stuff, but you IM'd me a couple days before the race, were like, I need a pacer, can you help? And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And I came out there, and I just this was my first, and so this was before Mines of Spain. This was before Hitchcock 101K. So this is my first time, I've been to Hitchcock 50, but I didn't really interact with any of the hundreds. And I didn't really understand it. So this was my first time, being involved in 100.
Yeah.
Seeing people I know running 100 and knowing who they were. And I just fell in love with it. I was just like, wow, I need to do this. And then they had those giant buffalo skulls.
Right.
And and after I'd kind of done some research on the Black Hills 100 after I saw these buffalo skulls. And I was basically, oh, you just have to do a sub 24 and you can get a buffalo skull is what I deduced it in my puny little ultra brain. And I was like, well, I ran a 21.5 at Mines of Spain, so obviously I can run a 21.5 at Black Hills. That makes sense. That is not the case, by the way. Black Hills is a much longer course.
By 5 to 6 miles?
Yeah.
At least 5 to 7 miles, 105, 100.
Yeah. Or, it can be a whole 10 miles longer if you take an extra loop through Nemo.
Detour.
And it has more elevation gain. And you're at, you're not that high up, but you're still
twice as high as Sioux Falls.
Yeah, you're twice as high as Sioux Falls. And you get actually up to
over 5,000.
Yeah, 5,000 several times.
Yeah.
If you actually look at the elevation profile, when you're that climb in between Nemo and Dalton, and both sides of Dalton are almost as high as that climb in and out of Silver City. So that whole downhill thing on the backside is kind of a fallacy, but
But if you look at the map, it's all downhill from Silver City, except for the hills in between.
Yeah, and
net downhill.
Yeah, kinda. most of that is in the last 20 miles.
Yeah.
But I digress. But yeah, I was just so excited, and I was like, this is my first race where I had like this goal of like, I'm gonna get a top 3, and I'm gonna, and I still had no idea what I was doing. I mapped it out, but I was entirely wrong. You had to do all kinds of ultra math.
Yeah.
Um,
It also doesn't help, like you said, when you take a little detour around Nemo,
and that's a
that
huge.
all does, because how many extra miles did you run? You think 3, 4? I know
Some
you've
of
gone
the-
back and done it.
Yeah, it's like 3.5.
Okay.
3.5, somewhere in there. Depending on which trail you take back there. There's several trails. But I don't know. It was, and I still had I had no idea. I thought I was gonna eat Cliff Bars all day, and I realized that was a bad idea very quickly. And then luckily I had you
that
around.
was what, 50K in at Dalton Lake.
Yeah,
when
and I
you
was
were
like
hating them.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is dumb. And so then
Thankfully, I had DNF'd Bighorn and had at least 30 miles of food plus the extra I had packed.
Yeah. So you were just throwing stuff at me, and I was, cramming it down my gullet. But it was still like I made so many bad choices. Like that was when I thought ibuprofen was a good idea during a race. And when I had no idea how to manage caffeine, so I was just like, I think I averaged it out, and I was getting like 500 milligrams, over 500 milligrams an hour.
Oh my goodness.
From Dalton on.
On the way back, or
yeah, on the way back.
The last 30 miles?
Yeah. And so like when you like look at, well, why were you puking and why couldn't you eat for a week afterwards? It's
That's
like,
why.
oh, well, because you can't, spend 7 hours, so 7 times 35. You can't take 3,500 milligrams of caffeine, and I was taking two ibuprofen tabs every hour, so yeah,
That's a lot.
14, probably even more than that. I was probably sneaking some because I'm an idiot. So I probably like 20 ibuprofen tabs in 7 hours. And you're just poisoning yourself.
Yeah.
It's fine in the moment, but you're gonna pay for it later.
Yeah.
And so I just made a lot of bad decisions, but it turned out like I got a skull.
Right, you came in 3rd.
Yeah, I puked all day.
4th overall because of that detour you took. You never could catch Mallory.
Yeah.
She's just a ghost in your mind that you're chasing.
Yeah, she lives indefinitely, rent-free in my head. / also my family reminds me about that more than I remember it.
All the time.
Yeah. Shoot, I ran Black Hills this year and they had signs about
still,
Mallory.
Still came up.
Yeah.
Mallory's ahead of you. Go get Mallory. Which, she's actually won Black Hills outright before, too.
Yes, she's the only female who has won Black Hills outright.
I think Barry Hine came in 2nd that year overall. I think I remember looking at that. Another Sioux Fallsian.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, I mean, she's a great runner.
Yeah.
Not a bad person to come in.
No, not at all. And she's really nice, too.
Super nice. And her crew, well, she's Canadian, that's why.
Yeah.
And her crew guy was nice.
Yeah.
Fun hanging out with them.
Nicole always reminds me how much nicer she is than me when I'm running. So I got to work on that. I should be nicer when I'm running.
Yeah. I mean, you said your thank yous a lot this last time, so you're working on it.
Slowly getting better.
Yeah. So you've done a lot of ultras. We can glaze over Mines of Spain. The second time didn't quite go so well for you. That was.
Yeah, that was one. That was like my first time where I got married. Like I really wanted to run a sub 2000, and so I went back out to Mines of Spain, and like I was gonna do it come hell or high water. Which the more I realize, the more I run, I don't think you can muscle your way through 100.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's a certain amount of stubbornness that comes with it, but if you're forcing something, it's not going to go well. And that was, again, I stiff-legged it for, 15
those
miles.
last
You were
15 miles.
Yeah, you were pacing me.
then, I
Still the
think-
slowest loop you've ever
I
done
think
at Mines
so.
of Spain is with me.
Done what? I think I've done 6 or 7 loops out there.
Yeah.
That's my
So-
slowest. You're also my fastest, I think. So.
Yeah, fastest and slowest. That was like kind of my early on, and I haven't been running ultras that long. Like, you think about it, it's like 7 years. But that was kind of my MO, right? I was gonna go really hard, and it was either gonna go well or it wasn't. Like, there was no in between, which was kind of fun. I mean,
Until it wasn't.
yeah, it was fun until it wasn't.
That death march.
Yeah, that death march, that really changed.
'Cause how long did that one take you? 26?
20, over 26, 26 and a half.
Okay. And I know you said you never wanted to do something that long ever again in your life.
Yeah.
Although, because I remember when you paced me at Bighorn the year I finished, you paced me 70 miles, and I had to do the math for you that would be your longest time on feet.
Yeah, it was
so
like,
that was right before that
yeah.
year of
So that was
Mines.
25 and a half hours.
Yeah.
So at that point, that was my longest time on feet. And then I went and did 26 and a half. And
Mines. And then Only Crazy was a little slower than that.
well, and the year I ran Bighorn.
Oh, yeah. And Bighorn, that's right.
Yeah.
Figured about that. 9 100-mile races now.
900-mile races.
He's got 3 wins at Hitchcock. You've gone back, right?
Yep. 3 wins at Hitchcock. 1 win at.
And a sub 20 at Hitchcock.
And a sub 20. That was my first sub 20. So Hitchcock is special. It's always going to be this special race for me because, it was my first ultra. It was my first win in the 100 at any distance. It'll be my first 500-mile award this year when I get there. It's just a special place that,
Yeah.
Guess I got to keep going.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah. You like me.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's
yeah.
fun.
But no, I think I added it up the other day. I think I'm almost to 15 ultras total now.
Okay.
I've
Like
won.
official ultras.
Yeah, I've won.
You don't count birthday runs as ultras.
No, I've won 6.
You've won 6?
Yeah.
So we've got 3 at Hitch. We've got a Black Hills, which we'll get to.
Yeah, and then 2 Tut Hill.
Oh, 2 Tut Hells, that's right. And then you've got
And then I
another
have
Black Hills podium.
The Black
and
Hills,
The 101K
the
podium.
101K, and then I have one at Glacier Hills. So of 15, I've podiumed 9 times. Which is like this weird thing, because again, I don't view myself as a fast runner. And so to sit here and look at stats and whatever, because I'm really big into numbers and breaking things down and stuff like that. But I don't really break them down for myself. So when we had talked about doing this podcast, I was like, oh, well, what are we at here?
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's kind of good. Somebody would maybe think I'm good at this.
What is your ultra sign-up score? Do you know?
Oh,
I don't look at mine.
I don't
I
know.
think those are
it's
they
high
don't match
80s,
you.
I think. That
Because that first,
that first one blows
one,
it out of the water.
and
so
then your Mines of Spain.
yeah,
And then you also had Bighorn and
Bighorn.
Crazy.
And I mean, Crazy wasn't a bad score because even at 31 hours, you're still
Top
in the
50%.
top 70%.
Oh, wow.
And so because that's just a slower race.
Yeah.
And then Bighorn, the problem there is you have so many elites and so yeah, I had a 30 and a half hours.
And a not a fun day either.
And not a fun day. I was sick all day. That was no good. Bighorn. So I have this thing where I don't want my last race somewhere to be like this suffer fest.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, now I have to
We
go
gotta
back
go
to
back.
Bighorn. Now
Got to go back to Mines eventually.
I got to get back to Mines because I just want to and nowadays I just want to go have fun on a course and when we get to Black Hills, I had so much fun at Black Hills. Even when I was stressing because I was walking and I was frustrated about it, I was still smiling and having fun and in good spirits. So yeah.
So let's just go right straight to Black Hills then.
Black Hills.
Black Hills. When did you say I'm running Black Hills?
Oh, when?
Oh, well, I guess you said when they decided this was going to be your, what, 15, but 16?
Yeah, I pretty much
Kinda
said I
wanted
was going
that.
to run its 15th running.
Yeah,
I know it's a 16th year of the event, but I knew it was its 15th running.
it's COVID.
So I was kind of like, even like 3 years ago, I had kind of committed to running this one. It probably wasn't a for sure thing until like somewhere when I was at Crazy Mountain, probably a couple years ago.
Okay.
I don't know. I think about races forever. I'm
Right.
terrible.
You kind of plan your races out more than a year in advance. Almost.
Oh yeah.
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 Which, I mean, guilty as charged too.
But I mean, that's what you have to do when you're looking at hundreds.
Yeah.
And I mean, and we've talked about this too, where, you know, like my first 100, I had a very specific 6-month training block, 7-month training block. And now I've built up a base where like I'm still doing a 7-month training block, but really the specificity and like I don't start like honing things in until like maybe 3 months out. But I'm still doing 7 months, and so if you're gonna put 7 months of work into something, which again, if you're doing 100, there's no way to hide if you didn't put that kind of work in. Then like you should be planning a year out, right? I think that's the best way to prevent injury. Because if you're thinking a year out, you sign up, you say I'm going to run Black Hills 100, and it's not even open. Registration isn't even open yet. Registration opens September 1st. So now between now and September 1st, I can lay down some good base miles, 20 miles a week, just, getting, even if it's just like saying I'm going to run for 20 minutes a day for the next, few months, that is going to do a ton of work for injury prevention in that first couple months of your training block.
Just building that aerobic base to build off of.
And just like the ankle, like I think a ton of people get injured because it's just more beating on the joints and things like that than what they're used to. So again, starting at that small and like, so I don't know. I argue if you're going to run 100, you have to plan a year out, but I'm also probably in the minority on that one.
Yeah. No, I mean, like my first ultra was Black Hills 100, and I did that in 2018. But I remember hearing about those buffalo skulls, and so like as soon as I heard about that buffalo skull in like 2017, it was in my head. So that was just my first 50K. But I had this plan of the 50K in 2018, the 50 mile in 19. 2020 was going to be my 100, but then COVID happened, so 21. So I really planned 4 years.
It's a progressive load, and like, I don't know. I don't think that much 50K training is translatable to 100-mile training, but I do think what you get out of a 50K is a good base to start training for 100. Yep. So
it's a good start. And then, 50 miles a lot more relatable to 100-mile. Training wise, not so much, race wise.
No, because you're not dealing so much crap happens at mile 60.
There's so much beyond mile 50, mile 60, 100K that you just, and that's part of the puzzle for 100.
It is.
So.
It is. That's the fun, the puzzle of 100.
Yeah. So you sign up for Black Hills. You've been training for it for, years.
Years, yeah.
Years. And you had a really big goal this year.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, and that's where like goals are weird. Like I said, I want to run a 21 hour, but like the reality is, and this race was different, because I generally say pick a time, pick some goal, and then let the places fall where they may. This one I wanted to win. I can't even I don't even want to hide that. I don't know, I probably sound like an arrogant jerk. And sometimes I probably do come off as an arrogant jerk.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to win. I
Yeah.
want, like, I, this was, and this, the first time I ran Black Hills, I looked at a buffalo skull every day for a year and did something every day to earn a buffalo skull.
Mm-hmm.
And this was nothing different. Every day I looked at my buffalo skull. Every day I looked at my sub 24 belt buckle that I had from the last time. And I said, I'm getting another one of those. I'm going to win. I'm getting, like, and like, I don't know, it sounds stupid, but that mental, like, if you say it enough and you, like, do something every day to like, it becomes a reality.
Mm-hmm.
The goal becomes less scary.
Right.
It becomes more of a possibility in your head, and like, you just go attack it.
Right. Just
Like,
kind of manifest it and
yeah,
but you also obviously did the groundwork.
oh yeah,
Beyond just wishing.
Oh yeah, no, this isn't like
No.
doing this on a wish and a
No.
prayer, but like, I think it's super important to say,
Mm-hmm.
I want to win this.
Yeah.
And like, I was also realistic with myself.
Yeah.
Like, this was the deepest field in the Black Hills 100 in, well, since I've been going out there for, since 2021.
Yeah.
So like, I was very realistic
Yeah.
that I could have lost the race.
Uh-huh.
But I also knew that I wasn't just going to lay down.
Yeah.
Like, I also said people were going to chase me.
Yeah.
I decided I was going to dictate the pace of the race. Which, again, it sounds like I hate saying that, but like, that was what I wanted to do. I was
To run your race and make people adjust for you.
Yes, I was going to run my race, and other people were going to adjust to me. I wasn't going to adjust to them.
Mm-hmm.
If they, and then towards the latter parts, it was, if somebody passes me, I'm not giving it up without a fight, and they're going to earn it. And again, that's it sounds so kind of jerkish, but like, and I don't want to talk, like, please, Ian, John, if you're listening to this, don't take this the wrong way, but like, when I was talking to my pacers, I was like, I have first time 100 milers behind me. They haven't.
I think John's done one.
Has he?
I think he did Rocky Raccoon or something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
In the winter,
but they were like, they haven't done a lot of them,
yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
And I was like, they haven't been beat up by the 100.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten lost on a course. They haven't spent all day sick in the mountains. They haven't stiff-legged it out at Mines of Spain for 15 miles after cramping at mile 50 and not being able to fix that problem. Like, and I'm like, you have to earn a 100-miler, and like, I knew I had earned, or at least I felt like I had earned being at the front and like being able to dictate the pace.
Yeah.
And so that's what, like, again, and this, I don't want John or Ian to think any different, because they're very good runners. They're really awesome people. I got to meet them at the finish line. We got a picture. Like,
that's so cool.
Well, so like, that's the thing, is like, at 100-mile races, and even at 50Ks and 50 milers, you never see the top three together, because like, it's so spaced out, and like,
people finish and go.
Yeah, people finish and go shower and like put themselves back together, or the third place person is puking all day, so there's no way that they're going to be able to do this. And so like, it was really cool to see all three of us in the park at the end. It was so cool to get a picture with them. It was so cool to shake their hands. I love it. And you know me, I love sitting at the finish line all day. any race I go to,
Jeff's favorite part is to be at the finish line,
yeah,
whether he's racing or not.
like I want to be there. I want to see people finish. I love experiencing it, and like super excited to see Ian at Glacier Hills this year. Like maybe John. We're gonna get John.
We'll get
John
John
Palmer's
there.
coming. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, that was just what it was. I've also learned that like I can't be afraid of being an arrogant jerk. Sometimes I just have to like own it. Like if you're gonna be good at something, be good at it and know you're good at it. And that's okay. So I mean, I guess I'm unapologetic. I was unapologetically like I was winning that race.
Yeah. And so like you had said, one of the deepest fields, and I'll put this out there that it was deep in a South Dakota way too. A lot of those names that were going to be at the top and pushing for the top positions were South Dakota. Well, you know, mostly Black Hills, South Dakota, but still South Dakota names, which is South Dakota represent. We have ultra runners here that do amazing things. So, and the podium ended up being
all South Dakota.
Podium was all South Dakota. The top winner for the female, lives in Florida now, but she's originally from Brookings.
Yep.
So
yeah,
South Dakota shout outs. Like,
yeah.
And I mean other races too. So Corbin from Sioux Falls here won the 50 mile.
Yep. The 30K was won by Corey Logston from Omaha.
From Omaha. Jess Powell from Sioux Falls here won the women's 30K. So
yeah.
So lots of
local South Dakota was like we showed out, and that was awesome.
I mean, this isn't like your tiny race anymore. So they have a limit of 150 people per race. So up to 600 people, they usually have 500-ish sign up across all 4 distances. So this is growing to be a really big sellout race.
Yeah, it's
every year.
It's not a slouch.
And it's, you know, people from Colorado are coming.
Yeah.
Well, because Colorado's very close to Black Hills, but
yeah, you're 6 hours away. But and Utah, you have people from Utah that come out, people from Montana that come out.
Yeah.
I mean, there were and like when I was when I was getting ready for this race, I knew who I was looking for. You know, Ian and John were quick. They were on my list. I had, you had Laren and Chris Riley. They were all on my list of people to watch. There was the guy who came in 4th. His name escapes me off the top of my head. He was from Utah. I was definitely paying attention to him. There was a guy from Colorado, a couple people from Colorado that had very, very good resumes. And, so I argue that there was probably 8 to 10 people that could have ended up winning this race.
Mm-hmm. Just depending on the day
and what happens. And there's so many uncontrollables in 100. Like, I could have bombed out hard.
Yeah. Or you could fall and hurt yourself. Or
yeah, that was a big thing.
How many falls did Jeff take during the Black Hills this year? Way too many.
Yeah, way more than I can count. And you say my feet look better than what you thought, but if you saw how crushed my toenails are now and how many I've lost, you'd see how they were worse than they've ever been.
You can't beat Hamburger Hitchcock.
Hamburger looked worse than it was. That was 2 or 3 blisters.
It was a bloody mess.
Yeah, it happens.
So yeah, kind of going through the race. You take off from the start. All the videos and pictures at the start is Jeff in this getup, and everybody else just 50 yards back behind him.
Well, I was so jacked up. The way there was construction on the track in Woodall Field there, and so they had to they started on the other side of the parking lot, and everybody and so that
the parking lot's just lined.
Yeah, and they had 140 participants. You figure everybody's got a couple people there. Yeah. So there's 300 people lined up shoulder to shoulder 100 yards down this chute that you're running down. I was jacked up. That was the coolest start I've ever been a part of. Well, okay, for different reasons. Crazy Mountain is legit too. Yeah. You get there's a whole story of Chief Plentycoo and all that sort of stuff, and that's really cool too. But this was just the energy and just I was jacked up. I was let's go. It was just so awesome. Sorry, like, yeah, Chris, Ryan, you should do that every year.
Have that start every year.
Yes, yeah, bring that back. That is like start line vibes are so like everybody talks about finish line vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Start line vibes are hard, and if you can, that is a competitive advantage for them as a race that I think they unlocked.
Yeah.
That it's going to be really hard for them to put that back away, I think.
We'll see what we can do about that.
Yeah.
Chris and Ryan are definitely watching this.
Oh.
I'll just email them. So hey, watch this video. And then, so first aid station, Alkali 7.5-ish in, and you kind of come in there you just beat.
Yeah.
Escaping our guy from Sioux Falls.
Ethan.
Thank you.
Yeah. He ran up on me right before we dropped down into Alkali. And I was like, is that Ethan? And I was like, that is Ethan. And I'm like, oh, how, and I, kind of say, hey, how's your first 100 going? He's like, oh, pretty good. We'll see if I'm in the right spot.
First ultra, really?
Yeah. I think he's ran like a 50K.
In training? Or
no, even like I think he's got an ultra sign score. And I was like, okay. And then he beat me out of the aid station.
He didn't stop at all. He just ran straight through
Yeah. Which
you stopped for like 3 seconds. I
think
my video is 9 seconds long, actually. But
yeah, it was quick. I had a plan. I'm starting to rethink my aid station strategies now.
Again?
Well, so like, because for the longest time, like in my first 100, I had like an hour of stoppage time. And so I'm like, that hour is free time for me. And like now I've managed to get that down.
We mapped, 33 minutes?
Yeah, 33 minutes, which is probably too much. But
we had 2 shoe changes.
Yeah, the shoe changes really killed us.
Yeah.
But at Hitchcock, I really like to keep that under 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm almost at a point where I'm thinking that like, and now everybody's getting a little look into my brain, where I'm like, a 1 minute aid station stop is better than blowing through it.
Yeah.
And carrying more weight.
Yeah.
Now there was a point in time in my career, in like my running career, if you want to call it that. I don't know. I don't get paid to do this, so where I was thinking like, in order to drive efficiencies, it might be better. But now I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out that balance right now.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, and then that first aid station was wild. There were so many people, and then like one person had my vest, another person had my
extra waters because you did.
Yeah, my extra water.
You had 2 water bottles in your vest and a water to carry.
A different person gave me my food pack, which was unopened.
Oh, sorry.
And then then somebody threw my salt tabs in there unopened. I really had this moment where I was like, I'm running out of there, and like Ethan passed me going through the aid station, which was fine. I was like, he can go have fun. But at the same time, like I felt like so discombobulated in there, that I was kind of like, oh geez, what, I gotta like take a couple deep breaths before I go into an aid station and really like start having my head together. And then that was where I made the decision where I was going to like yell out at aid stations where I knew you were going to be to like what I needed, in case it was anything different.
Yeah.
Because then like, again, it was like, it sounds stupid and this is just probably me being a prima donna, but like an unopened food pack was like super annoying to me in a race, which it's fine. Like it's totally fine. It's like not something to be upset about, but like those little things in races tend to become big things. Yeah. So I was like, how can I make sure that something like that isn't happening that would annoy me?
Yeah.
Like, because ultimately it's on me. It's not on the crew to like figure out what's going on, you know, like, yeah, they help you troubleshoot. Yes, they help you with all this stuff, but like ultimately it's on me to be able to
relay to the crew what you need
what you need and how to adjust.
Yeah.
And like all of those things.
Yeah.
So.
And then yelling out definitely helped when things did start to change. Like, oh, all of a sudden, well, so I mean, Elk Creek was pretty seamless.
Yep. That was well, and so
because you yelled it out, but we also I don't think we changed anything.
We didn't change anything, and
we had your packet of.
You
food
missed the
open that
snake
time.
part of the story.
Oh yeah, well, let's go back. Jeff finds a snake.
Yeah,
on the trail.
yeah. So I guess I'm in my wildlife era of hundreds where I see wildlife. I saw a bear at Bighorn last year. So this year I saw a rattlesnake at Black Hills, which is, I was kind of like, because I had heard that you guys had seen one last year.
I didn't. I was like the last person through apparently, and the world would have known if I had.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Seen one.
But like, so I had heard you had seen one last year, but I was like, this year it's been so dry. I don't, and so by this point Ethan was in front of me,
mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, oh well, he'll scare away all the snakes.
Right.
Sorry, Ethan.
That's why you let somebody else lead.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, this would be cool. And then of course I come around right before you drop down into Bulldog, like the switchback before that bench, mm-hmm. And there it goes, curling up and hissing and rattling at me, and I'm like, whoa, holy crap. And so I'm like, okay, I'll back up, I'll wait for it to leave, and then it wouldn't leave. Like, it just coiled up and was staring at me, so I had to like go a little bit off trail, and it just like stared at me the whole time. And then Laren had ran up on me like maybe a mile later, or like going into, actually this was more than a mile later because we were almost to Elk Creek by this point. He ran up at me. I was like, hey, did you see that snake? He's like, no, but I heard it. And I was like, oh, so really it's going to sit there and it's going to like wait, like it'll stop me, but it won't stop anybody else, I guess. So
hello, welcome
Howdy.
to the girlfriend. And then we go to Elk Creek. So Elk Creek was different this year in that they let people go to the actual aid station and crew there, which you could walk up there beforehand, but this year they let people actually drive up that way and park up there and crew from there, or you can crew from the lower at the road. Which Chris and Ryan, I kind of like that because it spaced things out.
Yeah, it was way less traffic.
So less clusterfuck and like it's always nerve-wracking for me. I actually just parked still where those two meet at the start of the 30K because I hate the congestion, but it worked out so well. So Chris and Ryan, please keep that for crew again.
Yeah.
And you had opted for meeting at the lower at Runkle Road. Yep. So you pretty much just ran through the actual aid station. Where it seemed like the other top guys had
because Ethan stopped there, and he dropped in after me. He like, when I left, so Laren actually beat me into the aid station, and he went into his car for a bit to work on stuff, and then Ethan like jumped in right behind me to go down the road, and I was kind of like, wow, he was there for a while. And so that was in my head. Yeah. Because that's when and
granted, he had also run through Alkali.
Yeah, so he had more stuff. He had more stuff to do. But like, now you're starting to see what the other people's strategies are going to be in the aid stations. Mm-hmm. And so that's where, like, I mean, I had a plan and that was going to be my thing. But, mm-hmm. like, if I see other people spending more time in aid stations, I see what their race strategy is. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I can know, like, hey, Laren or Ethan can run a little bit faster than me. That's okay. I'm going to beat them out of the aid stations. Mm-hmm. So, like, you're taking those little mental nuggets and putting them in, and you're also building your race strategy live.
Yeah. Because we had a whole, like, 20-second stop.
Yep.
Again at Elk Creek. Throw another invest on you, 2 water bottles,
Yeah, and that's
had
when
your food open.
yeah, and that was when I was starting to get hot. I
Yes.
was really starting to get
I
hot.
think part of it is just that, you started to without the vest and then you throw a vest on. And I think, those vests just add so much
Yeah,
heat to the torso.
they do. That's why I hate running with them.
Yeah.
But,
But,
it
sometimes
is,
a necessity to
yeah,
carry
you need
enough
to carry
water.
stuff.
Because otherwise you could go with two handhelds, but you'd have to stop at Crooked Tree to fill them up yourself.
But, and even with 4 handhelds, I had to stop at Crooked Tree anyways. Because
really?
I was so, like, I was getting so warm. I was like, I know I need salt.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I didn't have any salt tabs. Because I absolutely refused to open them myself. Again, I'm just a total prima donna. And so when I got there, and I knew I was getting hot, and this is where like the experience starts to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, I'm getting hot, I'm gonna need more water now, otherwise it's gonna be really bad when I get out of Crooked Tree and I'm up on that ridge line.
Yep.
Like,
that's a hot, like Crooked Tree, Elk Creek to Crooked Tree, Elk Creek to Dalton. That section is just, everything all
yeah,
the way back.
and so like what happens,
hot.
you're in that like canyon,
Yeah.
that Elk Creek Canyon, I guess,
Sure,
or
we'll
whatever.
name it that.
And like you're getting really hot, because it's a canyon.
Yeah.
And then you get up before you drop into Dalton, and the sun is so direct.
Yeah.
Up there, and you just bake. So you get hot and then you bake. And like it's almost as if, like, for those of you who've made like a casserole, right? You like bake it for a while, and then when you want the cheese on top to get crispy, you turn the broil on. Like that's essentially what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's a whole thing. Like, I don't know. Oh,
we can cook casserole. We ourselves are the casserole in ultra running.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what it is. So you took care of yourself at Crooked Tree, and then you come into Dalton, and he's losing the vest there because it's another, a 7.5-ish, 8-mile stretch to Nemo. So the plan was just 2 handhelds. But as he's stripping off his vest, he also takes off his shirt.
Yeah, because I was just so hot, and I'm like, I'm gonna take this off anyways. It'll be fine for a while, because like, why not? Like,
he's in and out. And he runs off, and Nicole's like, he never runs without his shirt. I was like, maybe done 2 runs this year without a shirt.
Yeah.
That I've seen.
Yeah.
But also, as somebody who has had a sunburn experience in a race with 3rd-degree sunburn,
yeah,
we decided Jeff needs something at Nemo. I mean, when you got to Nemo, I don't know what time of day it is. 4-ish, maybe?
Yeah, it was.
So we have at least another hour of sun, and you've already been out without a shirt on in the sun for an hour and a half hour. So we decided, I took the shirt you were wearing, soaked that in cold water. I had a dry shirt, and we had sunscreen, and you had to choose one of those 3 options.
Yeah, and this is like a funny part in the race, like, and this is just like, because like Nicole and I are talking on the way home or whatever, and she's like, it is so funny. I tell you to put a shirt on, and you say no. Jess tells you to put a shirt on, and you might maybe do it. If Emily would have told you to do it, you definitely would have done it. And I'm like, well, it's just kind of...
Who's got the experience behind the shirt advisory?
Yeah, and so the other thing is that Emily Wanless is a genius ultra runner.
Yes.
Like, and I have been, anytime I have done the opposite of what she told me to do, I have gotten burned. Yeah. Like, and so I'm like, I've just reached this point in my life where I'm like, if Emily says it, I guess I have to, because I've experienced when I say no to her, and it's not good. Yeah. So yeah, it's just kind of funny. It was a funny little tidbit. So yeah.
But you also came in, agreed to the wet cold shirt, and then.
But I was also so thirsty. I was like, because when I was at Crooked Tree, I got a Noon tablet in one of my water bottles, and that was really salty. Which it was like, I don't like a lot of salt, and so it was. But I was like, it was one of those things where my palate was still there, so I was like, I'm gonna choke this down because I know it's good for me.
Yeah.
But I think that really caused me to be so thirsty that, like, 2 water things was not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so, that's when I made that's where I yelled out, like, hey, I need more water.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a vest on.
Yeah.
Like,
So you did leave Nemo with just your 2 handhelds yet.
oh, did I?
Yeah, you unscrewed this and took like
Oh.
the 2 sips of water I had left in there.
Oh yeah.
Because you were so,
That's
and then
right.
you were so busy searching for water that you forgot to take your packet of food.
Yep.
And he starts running away, and everybody's cheering because we have Emily's crew
Yeah.
is there cheering loud, which is great. But then he's running away without his food, and I had to do a nice scolding yell to call him back to get you your food.
That's important.
But we got him his food.
Yep.
And then he took off. But yeah, that was into Pilot Knob where you yelled out that you wanted to switch to the vests and 3 handhelds.
And that was probably like a really good time to do it. Just because there's so much hiking in that section.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
My favorite section.
it is a good section. I like that.
I love that single track into Silver City.
Yeah.
After the climb out of Silver City, it's also fun.
I really like that climb out of Silver City.
That was frustrating last year.
Yeah.
It was humid and I had a moth in my headlamp, and Brian got to witness cranky Jess like throwing fists at a moth with my poles.
I'll say, like, it was, I don't know. That part for me, it was like I kind of settled into a rhythm. It was probably more like my mile 80 rhythm versus like my mile 40 rhythm. So that was kind of disappointing for me, I guess, if I were to critique my race. But it's still a fun section.
Yeah.
Like, so this year I actually managed to open and close the gates.
Nice.
So the first time I ran this race, I couldn't figure out how the gates worked. So I actually had to climb over them. And so when Chad Brower was like was pacing me back, I was like, "Oh, we got to climb over these. They don't work." And he's like, "No, let me help you out here." So, funny story.
So Jeff learns how to open gates now.
Yeah.
He's true experience. There's not so many gates, but those cattle guards, those little ramp things, those get annoying after a while.
Yeah, but they replaced a lot of the bad ones.
Okay. That's good.
So it was actually not bad this year.
And there's a nice tunnel under 385 now.
Yep.
That's a fun experience.
That was kind of nice.
Not that, when you're slower like me, there's not too much to play Frogger with as far as traffic at midnight or at 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning, but
yeah,
you might have a little more traffic. But
the biggest thing for me, even on all those road crossings, has always been like the traffic of the crew.
Yeah.
And so that's, but it's not too bad.
So you make your way to Silver City, the turnaround, yell out. That was our first longer stop.
Yeah, because I needed, like, I had a hot spot on my foot.
Yeah.
And, I've learned that at mile 52.
Do a reset.
Yeah, it's good to, if you need to do a reset, do a reset. Also, like, and I really don't like, and again, thank you volunteers for being at that aid station. Like, you do a lot of work, but that aid station is always kind of melancholy. So I had a personal goal of getting in and out of there and not stopping, but I had a hot spot on my foot, and like, I don't know, again, this is the experience thing. I'm like, I'm not going to force it.
Yeah.
Like,
and thankfully you got there in time in that the weather was still good. Like right as soon as you turned out of there, the clouds really started to roll in, and we knew there was a chance of thunderstorms that night, and we knew closer to 8:30, and you turned out of there just after 8:30.
So they weren't supposed to be, they were supposed to come at like 6.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So when I hadn't gotten rained on, I was like, oh, I guess we're good here.
Yeah.
And so when you told me that, I was like,
yeah.
I mean, and I wouldn't have minded if it would have rained earlier.
Just to cool you off.
I mean, that, and I had my poncho on me, so I would have just thrown that on. So I would have been fine. It probably actually would have pushed me out of Silver City faster.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I would have had a
Yeah.
hot spot on my foot
You would have said
and
sweet.
that would have been a mess, I would have been just like, let's
Screw it,
take
it's
care of
wet.
this later.
Yeah.
But you know, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think the storm really impacted me. And if it
No.
would have come earlier, I don't think it would have.
No. It maybe impacted others behind you more so because
Oh yeah.
you hit it, like the storm hit as you're climbing, so like a mile outside of Silver City
Yeah.
turnaround. You're
Yeah.
climbing.
So you know, you've got like, what is that, a 1,500 foot, 2,000 foot
I think
climb?
it's at least 15 and it's a mile and a half
Yeah.
to the top.
So like I wasn't moving fast anyways. And I had already thrown on my poncho, so I was just kind of like chilling. I don't know. Like,
Meanwhile, you're meeting the next couple runners coming down,
Yep.
and they're on their way into Silver City, and it's raining hard, hailing too, and unbeknownst to us, because we were out of there right before the rain started, but they had the race directors had forgot to throw in the actual tarp for the top of that tent, and they had just run it out there right before you showed up, so they had just got the tent all looking pristine right before you showed up. And then by the time the next runner got there, I think it had all blown over. So they had to show up to a Kittywampus aid station and try to take care of any problems that they would have in the middle of a thunderstorm.
and I think that's where my experience does help, because like I'm imagining when I like first was running hundreds, and like if the weather is so bad that the aid station blows away, that's that thought in my head that it's okay for me to quit.
Right.
If the aid station's going to quit, I'm going to quit. And so like I think mentally it might have impacted me a little bit, but for when I did the turnaround and like I'm coming back and it's, you know, Ethan and Ian and John, and I'm like, ooh, these aren't super experienced runners. So when I had heard that this had happened, I was kind of like, that would be hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that would be really mentally challenging for them.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, it was mentally challenging for anybody, but especially for people who've never experienced that part before,
Mm-hmm.
that would be not great.
And then by the time you get to Pilot Knob, pretty much the rain's all gone, done. So we tear off the poncho and back to work, except for that's when you hit the ATV section again. ATV section is notorious for not being that great when it rains.
And that section wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
The Pilot Knob to Nemo section wasn't that bad. The problem was I was having all those GI issues, so I had to stop a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I moved well through that, and like I know a lot of other runners said, "Oh, that was so demoralizing. Like you weren't even affected by it. You were still moving so good because of the mud." And I'm like, there wasn't that much mud. Like, yeah, it was there, and like it was clogging up my shoes, but it wasn't slick.
Yeah.
I mean, there were spots. There were spots.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, like, there were spots, but it wasn't terrible, you know. And I wasn't afraid to get my feet wet.
Yeah.
So like, you know, I'm just like, we're just gonna do this.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
So talk about GI issues. Jeff comes into Nemo, and so John is going to pace him at Nemo. So John's there, Emily, Wanless, the crew's all there. So we see Jeff's headlamp coming in. We start doing the Jeff chant, Jeff.
And that was so cool.
Jeff.
I'm sorry, like the energy on, and like I had so much fun during this entire race, and so like just the energy on course was just legit. I loved it. It was awesome.
And he's been yelling out, you know, when he's coming in what he needs. So we do our Jeff chant and woo, and then he breaks the chant as soon as we're done cheering with, I need
baby wipes, lubes, and fresh underwear.
And everybody busts out laughing and gets to work.
Yep, yep.
I think Nicole and I sprint for your bag. You sprint to a porta potty,
Yep.
and Nicole sprints behind you to the porta potty and takes care of you. And
Yeah, and then Glenda found the Imodium.
yes, that was the
So
hard thing to find. Was the
Yes.
Imodium.
Yeah. I just didn't have good instructions on how to get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we found that, chugged a half bottle of that, and then that was one of those moments again where like Nicole is like, "Do you want your poles?" I'm like, "No, the ATV section's fine." And then you're like, "You might want your poles," and I'm like, "No, it's fine." And then Emily is like, "You're gonna want your poles. Here you go."
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, and then like John and I are off, and I'm like, I don't know why you guys think I need my poles, but whatever.
We had seen everybody coming in from the other direction.
Yeah,
is
and
what
then
it was.
and so we ripped off a good mile there through Nemo,
Right.
and then we get on them, and it is just a soupy mess. It is like it is just a walk, a slow walk, and everything. Like it's just killing your stabilizer muscles. I was really glad I had my poles. Again, I've ignored Emily's advice way too many times, and I know that that's gonna burn me, and so I just took her advice, and away we went.
Yeah.
And this was probably, and like, so Black Hills this year was not an exciting race for me, and by that I mean it had nothing to do with the energy or like how things were going. I had a blast, but like there was no big hill I overcame, right?
Right.
Like,
nothing you were dreading the whole way.
or there was no like big dramatic moment, like like I feel like in all my previous other hundreds, like I overcame this big challenge, but really the big challenge was like a bad decision that I made and I caused this problem. Whereas I feel like we just minimized mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? We made good decisions, and if a problem popped up, we had enough experience to be able to fix it.
Yeah.
Like, just it sounds kind of boring, but
it's boring when you're smart.
yeah, and like, this was if there was any part of the race where I was like mentally down, it was this part because I had the legs.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was in the best shape of my running life. Like I wanted to run it out, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
And so this is where you learn stuff in every run, and it's like, and this is something I knew, but it was just reinforced, I guess. You get what the trail gives you, man. Like, and so it is what it is. And John was really good here, where he's like, reiterating to me, they all have to deal with the same trail you do. So like, they're gonna be moving at this pace, you're moving at this pace. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Sound John.
Yep.
This sage of wisdom right there.
Yep, for sure.
And calming.
Yeah, he
and
is.
uplifting. And just a nice guy.
Yeah.
Just like the person you want to have with you.
Oh yeah.
At that point in the race.
Yep, for sure. And so that was, and we got through it. Like, it was fine. I saw Gandalf the Great in there. Told me he got lost. Said he did an extra loop through Nemo.
He was so sad at Nemo.
I remember telling him, "Been there, man. Been there. Just keep on keeping on." But yeah, that was, I don't know. It was cool. Then we got, and so like this was also good because now I had a pacer. And so like John had communication with like Emily and everybody. Excuse me. And so he was texting what I needed ahead of time, which was great because like my feet and my shoes were getting so wet and the mud was like working their way into my shoes. And so like it was like sandpaper almost. And so you know, I needed either a new pair of shoes or I need more lube on my feet. But
Mhm.
like, I was like, it'll be faster if I just put on different shoes.
Yeah.
And plus, there's no more water after this, so that'll be nice. You know, dry shoes and all that.
And the trails are like dry.
Yeah.
For that part too.
So yeah, we threw on a new pair of shoes at Dalton.
We did a nice. There was a lot of. I get what you say with sandpapery because I took those baby wipes to your feet and there was a lot of just dirt adhered.
Yeah.
To your feet, which is not fun.
No. So like, but we just handled it and that was good. And then
you ate pancakes while.
Well, yeah. So
multitasking.
Well, so this was super important because Jeremy, you did an awesome job at this aid station because, so I think it was at the start line maybe, or it was at like packet pickup. I heard Jeremy talking about he's gonna have pancakes for all the runners at Dalton, and I was giving him a hard time. You ain't gonna have no pancakes for me. Like I remember coming through that aid station last time, waking everybody up. Nothing was ready other than what my crew had. You're not gonna have it. He's like, no, I'll have your pancakes. Oh, yeah. So there was also no way I was not gonna, get some pancakes there. And so like, and he had them ready. They were hot.
Well, Katie was all about starting propane fires and getting things lit up and going for you. So.
Yeah.
Katie did great.
So yeah, like either way, that aid station was great, and that was awesome because like, I don't know, I just wanted some pancakes.
And they gave me coffee.
Oh, that's always.
It's nice to know people.
Oh yeah. No, that was solid. And then, of course, I'm just constantly asking where the competition is.
Yes. And gosh, because we had stayed, I think, in Nemo. We had seen the next person come through on your way out. And then we had left Pilot Knob before the next person came in. And I don't remember how long we stayed there, but a good amount of time. And then Silver City, we didn't stay because the storm was coming in, and we're like, Jeff's gonna see the next runner anyway on his way out. And at Pilot Knob, you ask us, how far back is the next guy? We're like, you saw them on your way. Your way. Like, you should know.
Yeah, I should. But, I really wanted to know how long their aid station stop was.
Yes. But then, the next couple stops, so Pilot Knob against Nemo is 6-7 miles. Nemo to Dalton is 7-8 miles. So crew-wise, driving-wise, we weren't hanging out in those aid stations long enough because we need to make sure we're there in time for Jeff. But then you have a 13-mile stretch to Elk Creek.
Yep.
So Nicole and I hung out with Katie. Jeremy had to take off to go pace his sister, but then Katie and I think it's Melissa was the other girl kind of hanging out and in charge there, giving us coffee and waiting. And then, who was next? Palmer was next.
Yep.
And he had Jason Jackson was his crew chief all day, and then this was the point where Jason was now going to pace him the last 30 miles. So they were crewless the last 30 miles.
Okay.
And then Ian came in third, and he had Evie and another guy pacing him, and I think his parents are crewing him too. So his pacers were swapping out at aid stations, I think is how it went. But yeah, and we could see their aid station time too. And yeah, John didn't take as much time. Ian took a lot more time.
Yeah.
There, but it was a very comfortable lead you had at that point because I think John left at least 70 minutes after you. I think it was.
Yeah.
From Dalton Lake.
Yeah.
And then Ian.
Because we were waiting for a text.
Yeah.
On where everybody was, and then like we weren't getting a text, and we were like past Crooked Tree.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like, either they weren't able to get a text out because of cell reception and whatever.
Well, Jerry was nice, and he had a satellite and let me in on that.
Yeah, but
so
like,
I could text you, but not that John had cell reception.
Yeah, like, all those issues that come with that. Or I'm just that far ahead, and if I'm that far ahead, this is where John started talking a lot about stay upright. Do not injure yourself. Because I'm a reckless runner. And I was especially reckless at Black Hills. Like I was, I've been working.
Times you had fallen by the time you got to Dalton.
Yeah, and
the first
you know,
30.
I've been working on my technical running, you know,
Mhm.
and like getting better on and faster on technical stuff and rocky stuff.
For
It's
the 2 tree roots and 3 rocks we have here in Sioux Falls.
yeah, but like, you know, that's all about just like doing it.
Yeah.
And so I felt like in my mind, it's like a really big win that I was able to move so well. But like at the same time, there's a high risk of doing that, and you don't want to take yourself out of
Mhm.
this.
Yeah.
So, you know, I kind of moved with a purpose.
And yeah, you guys got to, well, you had a little stop at Crooked Tree, I heard,
Yeah.
for your shoe, for your toenail.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so like I kind of hooked a rock with my foot, and like I like felt my toenail like flip up,
That's fun.
and I was like, "Oh, well, I should take care of that." And this is like a mistake. This is a total mistake by me. I should have just left the toenail on and it would have been fine, right? But me being a dummy, I took my shoe off to look at it, and then I ripped the toenail off. And there is a bright pink toenail bed just staring at me. And I'm like, I should have left this on, you know? And so I like do what any dummy does, and I just like put it back on, and I grabbed a piece of KT tape from a different part of my foot, and I just like wrapped it around. And then like once we got moving, I didn't hurt. You know, it hurt like the first few steps or whatever, but then like it didn't hurt. So I'm like, I guess we're good.
Yeah.
You know?
Get to Elk Creek and you swap John out for Emily, which again, you really hadn't gone into this uberly planning on any pacers initially. It just kind of worked out for you.
Yeah. You know, Emily was gonna pace Chris Riley, and he ended up dropping, so she was around, and so she ended up jumping in. And John, you know, him and I were like rollerblading a week before the race, and hey, you're gonna be out there, like if you want, like, you know, it was kind of like it was like that awkward moment where if you want, I could. Do you want me? Like this, you know, because trail runners can never be direct about anything. And so yeah, he like jumped in and he was like, okay, I'll run like this 6-mile section with you, and then or 7-mile section, and then we'll see how I feel from there or whatever. And so then yeah, he ended up going all the way to Elk Creek, so that's
20 miles.
20 miles ish. And then yeah, Emily, she jumped in, and I think she was gonna stop at Alkali,
Who
or
knows
there was
what the plan was?
somebody.
There was no plan.
Yeah, you know, and like I was kind of like, whatevs, like let's rock, sort of a thing. And then like, oh my gosh, after Elk Creek, I swear everything, because I'd seen that snake earlier.
Yeah, everything
so
looked like a snake.
Everything was a snake. Emily was also just a really good pacer, because you know I haven't gotten to run with her in so long, or even really get to have a conversation with her in so long. Like it was just good to like hear about Hard Rock and her training for that, and like, you know, we just had a really good conversation. That was, again, it sounds stupid, but it was like almost like we were just out on a normal long run,
Right.
like whatever.
Yeah.
Here we go. So it's just like cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's bribing me with mints.
Nice.
Because well, John.
Oh,
so
yes, I remember we grabbed a handful at Elk Creek.
Yeah,
Stuff
yeah.
Vest.
Yeah. So there's a long history of John pacing me or like, and other pacers where they like, okay, Jeff, if you make it for the next quarter mile, you can have a mint. And so like, I just kind of got bribed along the way for mints. And Emily very quickly took over that role too, so that was good. So yeah, no, it was, again, nothing really.
Yeah, I would say from there on out, it was pretty uneventful.
Yeah, and like probably, and so like my leg, like all my stabilizing muscles were kind of shot after the ATV sections, and so I was really worried about like getting going again. And like I was kind of like the descent down into Dalton, I was able to kind of get them moving again, but it still wasn't great.
I mean, it's a pretty steep descent and
Yeah,
too, and single track and
it really it wasn't until like we were climbing out of Elk Creek up into to the trailhead.
Mhm.
That was where my legs really kind of started to come to life again. So like I don't know, we had a really
although my math had said you ran your Dalton to Elk Creek section faster than you had in 22 by like maybe 2 minutes or something like that. But
yeah. I mean, I was moving
still
fine.
moving well.
I was moving fine.
Yeah.
I just my legs didn't. It took forever to wake them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that last section, I felt like I moved really well.
Yeah.
Like I was ripping off some 12-minute miles even in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was great. It was just flowy.
Yeah.
And awesome. And then I won. I don't know. It's just like
you get to the finish line, which when you're the top people and nobody else is there, like the bus had just left for
yeah.
the 30K again, so you don't have any of those 30K peoples waiting around to catch their bus, and it's just your crew, which, hey, we had a still stellar.
Yeah,
made some noise for you.
Oh yeah, no, that was exciting. There
Yeah.
was everybody was there.
Race directors are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was just I don't know. It's weird because it's such a cool accomplishment, and I'm like really proud of the whole thing. It's just kind of boring,
Right.
like, and not. I had so much fun. I did
Yeah.
like this is the most fun I've ever had on course. It was fun. It was all that, but it was just like there was no dramatic moments or anything.
Yeah.
Like
Did almost everything right.
yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of and that's cool because it's for me like I've always chased this perfect race,
Right.
and so this is what it's like.
Closest
I guess.
you've got
Yeah.
to it. That's the thing about the 100. You said they scare you. I think to me it's just the biggest puzzle. Like I said this in a previous podcast. Like I could go out and run a 50-mile almost any day, and I'll finish it almost guaranteed. If it's like this, that's gonna be a different story.
Yeah.
This is kind of awful. But the challenge of the 100 is what comes after mile 62.
Yeah.
And putting all the pieces together correctly before you get to that point, and then continuing to put the pieces correctly together after that.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part for me, I think.
It is. It is like
it's the unknown.
Well, there's so many variables,
Yeah.
and there's also two people could solve a problem entirely different ways, but it's still solved.
You have to get the same result.
So I don't know. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Challenging.
Yeah.
100s are special.
Yeah, for sure. Next up on the docket for you. Said what, 8 weeks away? 9?
9
you
weeks.
Did the math.
We got Idaho Mountain Ultra Trail Festival 100. I'm tough.
That's what I am tough stands for. Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep. It's my Hard Rock qualifier for the year. So
you started chasing that after Bighorn? Or what?
Yeah, Bighorn was like my first qualifier. I had hoped that Crazy Mountain was going to become a qualifier the year I ran that, but then that didn't work out. So now I'm a year ahead on Western States qualifiers compared to Hard Rock, which is fine. Like that's fine. I mean, Hard Rock is a 20-year plan, so
right.
Like,
got to have all that experience before you get there anyway. So
exactly. I mean, Hard Rock, I feel like it's not the race itself is an adventure and it's gnarly and all that sort of stuff, but I think that the real adventure of Hard Rock and the lore that comes with it is all the things you have to do to get there. Right. So I don't know. I enjoy it. I also like and that in Western States, I like that you've got to find these races, you got to try to get into them, you got to do all that stuff. It's very easy as an ultra runner to get into patterns of, running
Hitchcock every year.
Hitchcock and mines and
hills.
Black Hills and Hitchcock and Mines at Black Hills and
Yeah.
Hitchcock and Mines at Black Hills. And it's fine. They're all great races.
Yeah. Great
But,
people,
like,
great events.
slowly the unknown becomes known if you're
Mhm.
running the same things over and over again. So, like, you know, the Hard Rock Western States gives me a reason to look at races that I wouldn't normally look at, and it forces me to get outside my comfort zone, which is, again, what this is all about. So, you know, why not?
And another Hitchcock this year too.
Yeah, that's the plan. You know?
Two
Yeah.
more hundreds.
Two more hundreds.
And a Glacier Hills 50K.
And a Glacier Hills 50K. You know,
3 more ultras
why not?
for kicks and giggles.
Yeah, it's fun.
What it's supposed to be.
Yep.
It's fun. And we're not going to go deep into it because we've got enough. We can come back some other time when you have a race date announcement. But Jeff's girlfriend here was the star last weekend.
Yeah, she was everybody's favorite.
With this nice
That
little
crazy bear.
marking bow that I tied on her.
Yep,
Did my best. Bows are hard,
they are.
but she's marked and she's got all of her decorations. Somebody else left one during the race.
Yeah.
I think it's it's there.
Yeah.
I see it, Rico. There's a little gold pin attached to a barrette that Rico put there. Jeff successfully put on his first ever race out here last weekend.
Yes,
So.
Crazy Bear Ultra was a success. I'm already kind of starting to take notes for next year. I know Great Bear's.
I hope you're taking notes.
Yeah, Great Bear is really excited about it. We're probably going to announce a date in November.
Okay.
And then with registration opening on December 15th.
Nice.
Um,
So more to come, but it was, we can go just short into it. So this is a race in July, and today is July also, and today is kind of awful. They got spoiled last week, I think.
Yeah,
but
with
last week was
85-degree weather.
And pure sun. And
This would have been great.
This would have been awful.
No, this is the weather I was hoping for.
But
like 116-degree heat index today.
he's a sadist.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I'm not a sadist.
He's looking to challenge people, is what it is.
So I feel like, and this is, again, please, and I'll say this, you're the race director for Glacier Hills, so don't take this the wrong way.
I just took over a race.
Nate Schwab, don't take this the wrong way when you're looking at the trail race series. Y'all have your spot in the sport. It's great what you're doing. The trail race series is a really awesome, like, intro to trails. Like, and now they're getting to have some, like, 10 and 12 mile races.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a progression there, which is really cool. And then you have Glacier Hills, which is even further. It's further distances. The weather's great. It's a good kind of intro to the longer distances.
Yep.
30K, 50K, like it's really good for that.
Fairly generous. I would say the 50K kind of is on that average cutoff. It's an 8-hour cutoff.
Yeah.
So it's not overly generous, but it's still,
but for the terrain and the weather, like it's not bad. What I feel, and I feel really strongly about this, is like the whole idea of like not making home plate bigger for people. And like, so when I was at my last job, everybody had to give, like, before a team meeting, like you had to give like an intro, and it was usually something inspirational or whatever. And one guy shared about this baseball coach who gave this speech about, the home plate is the same size whether you're, a 10-year-old or you're in the major leagues.
Mm-hmm.
It does not change. And then I take that one step further and I start thinking about Kara Lawson, the Duke women's basketball coach. She has this speech that went wild on social media about, like, you have to do hard better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you think that life is going to get easier because, like, oh, you've done this before, or like, oh, if you just if I could have just had this, it would have been easier. Like, no, that's not how it works. Like, you just get yourself into more complicated situations that are hard. You have to do hard better. And so, like, I feel like in our area of the Midwest, there's not, and I'm not saying that we're a graduate level race because it's a 50K, but like, it's this step in between of like, it's not an intro race, but it's not a graduate level race.
No.
It's like you're gonna do this thing. There's gonna be some DNFs. You're gonna have to dig deep to get it done. And when you get done, you're gonna feel really accomplished.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to create.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was successful. You know, if I'm looking at measures of success, you know, I had a lot of people that got done at the finish line, hands on their knees, and they say that was hard.
Yeah.
And you know, I shook their hand and I gave them the poker chip, and you know, the smile across their face, and this moment of accomplishment. Like we were successful today.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the whole purpose.
The drive behind it, which I think, you know, it's something we need. You know, there's the accessibility ultra for everybody. Hey, there's the, you know, blood run. You have a timed race.
Yeah.
You sign up and do whatever distance. You can sign up for the 48-hour new this year. And if your goal is a marathon in 48 hours, well, good for you. But at the same time, I feel like there's the need to find that challenge. And people are, you know, they were asking me, why aren't you running? I'm like, heat. I have to choose my battles in the heat.
Yeah.
I already have my battle chosen this year. But this is a 50K that, like I said, I could go out in front of 50 mile or 30 mile, you know, any day and get it done. This is one that I would question, would I get it done in the allotted time because of the heat factor for myself.
Yeah. But I think that's everybody. Yeah. Everybody had to think about the heat.
Oh, yeah.
I you know, and I really, you know, so many people run 50Ks nowadays and they just like, oh, yay, a 50K.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, a 50K is hard. It doesn't matter if it's Glacier Hills or Crazy Bear or what. It is hard. And, you know, it's an accomplishment and you should feel accomplished. And, you know, you should, I heard that Ryan Wanless told another ultra runner once when they were trying to decide what race to do. He said, well, what distance scares you? Okay, then do that distance. Right. You know, and that's, I don't know, I think that's important. I think that's, you know, we constantly ask the why do we do this ultra running thing over and over again? Because if it was just about doing it, like, you'd be done after the first time you do it, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't go back for more.
But we keep going back, and I think it does have to do with the facing your fears, the questioning whether you can do it or you can't in the middle of the race, and finding that extra little bit. So, you know, yeah,
helping people find their limits.
Exactly.
And go beyond them.
So yeah, I'm not a sadist. I just
compared to Kim Jong-un, Hitler.
Yeah, I have been compared to Kim Jong-un and Hitler, but that's what it's about. It's finding your limits, and I want to push those limits, and you know, I think even like the racers that came out that probably felt a little bit like I had pressured them to come and run it, I think when they finished, they were happy they did it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you know, I think that's a good thing. I think that there's a place for that here, you know.
For sure.
I don't want to compete with Glacier Hills.
No, it's a completely different.
It's a different animal.
And for sure than Glacier Hills.
And so yeah, that's what it is.
It was a fun time to volunteer and be in the shade of a tent. And not be running.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. So, yeah, that's all my questions. Thanks for coming on and telling us the life story of Jeff and diving into Black Hills. And we'll be back when you have a Crazy Mount or Crazy Bear update.
Oh yeah, well,
we can go dive deep into the crazy beer
yeah,
experience.
I'm probably really long-winded. So.
Yeah, that would be a whole nother podcast. So.
Don't say anything of substance, really.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Peace out, guys.
This has been a JWBN production. Thanks for listening.